Hey, speakers, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and let's get started. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone is having a blessed evening. I am here with another video. And if you could tell by the title and the thumbnail, basically, I have decided to go ahead and start my series of He Made It Make Sense. Now, of course, to all my supporters, I spoke several times, stating that I would kind of tell my story. And the reason I feel that I wanted to share my story with all of you and my supporters is my story could potentially help someone else, as well as I felt that I owed it to my YouTube family because some of my journey of when my husband actually got sick was in the beginning of my YouTube career. So I kind of wanted to share my experience, give a little backstory of everything. Please bear with me. I'm still going through the motion. So continue to pray for me. Now, of course, before we get into everything, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the family if you have not already, and turn on those notification bells so you'll be notified the next time another video is uploaded. So I kind of want to take it pretty much from the beginning. I'll probably break the series up um, because the story is amazing. It's amazing. Everything for me was new and different. So I kind of want to give like the backstory. So I had been single prior to me meeting my husband, right at about 2.5, 3 years. Um, I had been single, enjoying the single life. Once you had a breakup or what have you, you kind of start enjoying the peace of not having the extra stress or what have you. So living life. Um, I'll never forget. I made a post on Instagram. I seen a post and I reposted it, and the post stated, "Before you hop into my inbox, make it make sense." So I'll never forget because it was my granddaughter's birthday, to be exact. It was April 12th. And um we had me and my daughter and my dad, we was all at my house, and we had a couple of drinks, was dancing, playing around. And so I decided to check my phone, and I have an inbox. And the person says I can make it make sense. And so I'm like, what? So of course I'm a little tipsy. I'm a little tipsy. So, I kind of inboxed and I was like, oh yeah. And, so I kind of asked, a little thing, ask some things about him, what have you. Come to find out, we were actually from the same city. Now, I was a couple of years older than my husband. So I guess we never really crossed paths, but I was very familiar with the neighborhood he was from. I knew a lot of people that he knew, you know. So, you know, it was comfortable. I'm like, okay, so you seem to be good people. We kind of exchanged numbers. We were, you know how it is when you first meet somebody, you're chopping it up and you're talking to them every day, every night, like you're in high school. Um, at the time, I was at my previous job, which is how I ended in Dallas. I was working for AT&T. He was an electrician. Um, and so we had just been talking, really enjoying each other, just vibing. You know, all along, I'm one of these type of people that I'm kind of an introvert in a lot of ways. I'll say I'm going somewhere, but then when it's time to go, it's like nah, I ain't going. So I'm one of those type of people. So, even though we would talk about, okay, yeah, we can meet up, or, because he was living in Houston at the time. And of course, I live in Dallas. So we would say things, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, right. And then, of course, I think during the time we were going through the pandemic, so things were still kind of crazy because we met in April of 2020. So, of course, I remember it so well because I remember I came back from Mardi Gras with COVID. And with the Rona. Sorry, YouTube. I came back sick. So that was in March. I met him in April. And like I said, we had been talking. Um, so we got to know each other. We talk every day. And I remember I was at work, and he had gotten off work, and he texted me and he was like, my aunt is wants me to go to the emergency room because I have a blister on my foot. So I was like, oh, okay, and so I'm thinking to myself, well, it must be bad if she done told you that you need to go to the doctor or whatever. Yeah, you might need to go ahead and go. So he went. um that night he did text me, and he told me that he was still there. He I wound up not talking to him, I don't think, anymore that night, which was kind of odd because how you get in the routine of things. So, but whatever. So the next morning he texted and he said that his toe was really infected and he may need to have surgery. So I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. What? You're taking me fast. So I'm like, okay. So I'm at work, and again, he was like, but I'll call and I'll let you know, whatever, because of course they had kept him. So when he called me back, I don't when he texts me, and then whatever he texts, I can't really remember, but it made me go outside and call. So he was just like, I'm gonna have to have surgery. I know that this is, gonna be a lot. You don't have to we don't have to continue to talk, kind of like pushing me away. He was like, man, it's gonna be hard for me because they had advised him that he would have to have um his toe amputated, his pinky toe. So I'm like, now by this time we had been talking for a few weeks, and throughout that time he did tell me that he had been diabetic, but of course he wasn't on insulin because it was kind of controlled, had high blood pressure. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's routine things. Okay. So fast forward, he told me about the surgery, and he was like, man, this is, you could tell that it was really mentally bothering him, because here he is. He's an electrician. He just finished electrician school. He got a job. He's doing great at his job. And something as simple as a blister on his toe caused that, So I'm like, well, nah, we friends, and I just, something in me just was like, nah, you don't do nobody, like kick nobody when they down. Now, a little backstory with me. I have two other siblings, a brother and a sister, which are older, but I am my dad's only child. So even at my big old age, I'm very spoiled. Very spoiled. Um, Not gonna lie, not gonna hold you. I can be the type that can be a little selfish. So, number one, I'm talking to someone that I met on social media, Instagram. Although we were from the same city, he was still somebody from our social media. And that's one thing I did not believe in. Like, I'm one of these people, I really don't believe in that online dating. I don't believe in men trying to get at me via social media. So already I'm doing something that I've never done, and that's talking to someone that I've met on social media. Again, it didn't seem so out of place, I guess, because we were from the same city. The city is not that big, you know. So, okay. Next thing that came about is when he had to have the surgery, and I'm knowing then that, okay, some things probably would change with him because, he's having a minor amputation, but I never really looked at it. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm going in and out. My dog is doing something, and I have to keep looking to see what is he doing. But anyways, so him having to have an amputation, I'm like, okay, I be, I wouldn't dare like kick you when you're down. Okay, so he was in the hospital. I think he was set to get out like that next week. And I was like, okay, so when I'm off, I'm going to just come to Houston, you know, that way, we can officially meet, and we could do whatever. I knew it wasn't much he was going to be able to do. Again, he just had surgery. So fast forward, I wound up going down there. He had like a cast he was having to do where they would the nurse would come and change the dressing and all of that. I remember one night I helped, change his dressing and everything. And me never looking at, oh, this a lot. You see what I'm saying? Me, it just was different for me because any other time I'd have been like, oh Lord, no. This here, So, but for some reason, I clung to him. And, so we got past that. I always gave him encouraging words, like, it's gonna be okay. We could figure out a way, because all along he steady thinking, what am I gonna do about my career? Because I'm an electrician. I have to climb ladders. And I don't know if you really notice how important your pinky toe could actually be as far as when it comes to your balance and all of that. I never knew until, So, anyways, we, went through the motions with that. And this was May. June, July, I was going back and forth. I met all his family like around 4th of July because they had a big barbecue or whatever. I met all his family. We, was just vibing, and he gave me a ring. And should I say a Johnny Dang ring? I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with Johnny Dang, but he is a very popular jeweler in the Houston area. A lot of celebrities, going by jewelry. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, this is where we at with this. Fast forward, I'm planning elopement. Yeah, elopement. We actually got married September the 5th in South Padre. Had a wonderful, wonderful time. Everything was great. Didn't tell my family right off, but I wound up telling them. And when I say everything was magical for me, because again, never entertained no one off of social media. Definitely wasn't willing to deal with nobody that was not gonna be able to keep up, or you see what I'm saying? It was just you were, he was kind of down and out in the beginning, and but I did it anyways, and I went from engaged to married in September, and yeah. So we got married, we came back, we told everybody. He wound up moving to Dallas, even though he hated Dallas. Hated it with a passion. He wound up moving to Dallas. And when I tell you everything was good. Now I'm not gonna say that we was just living it up, living it up. We had some tough times because I was the only one working. We were going back and forth with the disability, with Social Security. So basically it was just, me working or what have you. But the one thing that I have always done was make sure that my husband felt like, he was a part of this. I never wanted him to feel less than or any of that. And again, this is something I normally don't do because I'm selfish. I'm my daddy's only child. I'm spoiled. I'm used to people doing, I'm used to, somebody catering to me. But this one time, I'm willing to pack this load, not just because he's my husband, but I'm willing to pack this load because this person makes me happy. So eventually I wind up going to work for Delta. And when I tell you, and this is where I get into everything happened for a reason. Granted, my husband was sick. Now kind of go backwards a little bit. I'm sorry. So we got married in September. He moved here, and being that he did have high blood pressure, of course, he had the surgery or what have you. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get, take you to my doctor, get your blood work. That way you can start getting affiliated with the doctors here. You don't have to go back and forth to Houston. And plus, to me, he was on some high blood pressure medicine, but it was a lot to me. So I'm like, they need to, we need to see about this. We're gonna get you lined up and XYZ. So he went to my doctor. Of course, she did like the routine checkup, and she called and was like, I need you to go to I think it was where she wanted him to check in to an emergency room because his levels was low. Whatever. My husband was going through kidney failure. Now, had he not gone and did the blood work or however, she may not have found that, because at all the time he was going to the hospital in Houston, they never checked him for that. Still to this day, I don't know if his kidney failure was due to the diabetes, or was it due to him being on so many different high blood pressure medications? Not really sure. Because again, with his diabetes, he didn't take no insulin or anything. Of course, if he went a long time without eating, he might will feel a little weird. Matter of fact, which we can kind of get into a little later, the doctors were even like, I don't even know if he has diabetes, because he didn't have really any signs of being a diabetic later on. So it came about he would have to get on dialysis. So here we are again facing another brick in the wall. And again, he was like, man, this is too much. This is too much to put on you. It's like my husband battled and struggled all the time. I want to say all the way up until the day he passed. His main worry was not being able to be that provider for me. And I always said, don't worry about it. I got you. We in this together. But as a man, I can only imagine how it made him feel. And so, he got on dialysis, we kind of worked through that. I end up getting a job at Delta. So, of course, by me working at Delta, it kind of afforded us to be able to do things. And again, I would say this is where I would say God does everything for a reason. When I tell you we lived it up, I'm talking Hawaii, Vegas, New York, California, you name it, we went. We went. And the killing part of it is we didn't have a whole lot of money. But we always said, we gonna do this. Hey, you want to go and fly here? You want to do this? We can go here for a couple of days. And it just amazed me how we were able to do it and maintain. And I always said we were the definition of making doing bad look good, because we weren't rich. But if you would look at the pictures and things, you probably would say or think that we were. But our trips consisted of getting there, taking walks, relaxation, eating food. That's the highlight of my vacation. Anyway, I don't go on vacation to shop. I don't really do none of that. We would just go relax, have nice meals, you know, the regular. You see what I'm saying? But we enjoyed each other's company outside of home. Getting away from the stresses that come with dialysis and come with doctor's appointments. So we lived it up. And if I could upload every single picture and memory that we have, it's crazy. I have so many pictures of everything that we've ever done. And we were just getting started. And so it was all good. And then, of course, with the dialysis, it came where he needed a couple of stents for circulation and but still, he moving around better than me. I would be the one that be like, I don't want to go, and XYZ, but he never appeared to be sick. Even on days I'm knowing he's not feeling good or I'm knowing he's feeling a little down, he kept his spirits up for me. So, yeah. think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. We'll stop it at this point where, of course, he has started dialysis as well as he has gotten his first round of stents. We went over how we met and got up to that point. And I will do part 2 as to going into a little more vacations, as well as telling, I think that's where we'll cut it off. I'll just do 2 parts and that's where we'll get, to the end. I just don't want to make this video long and outdrawn and boring. But anywho, I guess I will turn it in. It's getting late. I was in my feelings, so I decided what better night to do it than tonight. So, anywho, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Please, please hit the like button. Leave your comments down below. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Share the video if you like. And turn on the notification bell so you will be the first to be notified when I upload my next video. And until then, good night.